what's up? So today we're filming a very exciting video for you guys. I'm going to be doing a head-to-head like versus sponge battle for the EcoTools sponge and also the Morphe contouring highlighting sponge. As you can see, they're kind of the same shape and they're dirty because I just used them. But yeah, I'm super excited about this video. You guys know I've been loving the EcoTools sponge for forever, and I actually didn't like the Morphe one when I first got it just because I was so in love with this one. But once I started using it like not like this one and just kind of in its own way, if you know what I'm saying, like getting more used to it and finding different ways to use it, I actually started to love this one as well. And so today we're going to be trying both out and show you guys the differences and also the similarities that they have, and we're just going to go battle these babies out on my face. And so yeah, if y'all want to see this video, then go ahead and keep watching. Okay guys, so I already have my face primed. I'll have everything I'm using down below, but I'm super excited because I'm using my new vanity for this video. If you haven't seen my vanity video, I'll have it in the cards right here or linked down below so you could watch it. And yeah, so let's get started. And so I have both sponges damp, and this is what they look like. Let me give you a closer look. I did try to get them as clean as possible. So this is how both sponges look damp. As you can see, they're basically the same shape on the top and the same size. And on the bottom is where they're different. This one has a point and this one's a little bit bigger and rounder. So that is the difference right there. Okay, so first I'm going to start off by using a concealer under my eyes. I'm going to be using my Nars Soft Matte Concealer in the shade Light to Vanilla. And so first I'm just going to go ahead and take that under my eyes with a brush, and then we'll go ahead and blend it out with the sponge. So on this side of my face, I'm going to be using the EcoTools sponge, and I'm just going to go ahead and blend that out. So I don't like my sponges too wet, so I went ahead and squeezed a little bit more excess water out just because if it's too wet, it tends to pick up the product instead of spread it. And then I'm just going to blend that in. And I love using this part under my eyes just because it fits perfectly into the crevices with that straight edge. So as you can see right here, this is what I was talking about where it's a little bit too wet and so it kind of separates. So I just like to tap off any of the excess water out so it doesn't do that. Now I'm just going to go ahead and take the rounder side and blend out that part. I think I just have like a dry patch right there though, so that might be why. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and do this side with the Morphe sponge, and I actually don't use the straight edge for this side. I like to use the pointy edge just because it's a lot like the Beauty Blender to where it blends out more better, just because it's a little bit more precise because it has that pointy edge instead of like a straight line. And the one with the straight line, you kind of have to go like in a box kind of motion to where you're like this, but this one is a point so you could easily just go into the creases like that. And so this side did exactly the same thing as this side did, where it has a little bit too much water, and so it just kind of becomes patchy at the bottom. But this time I'm going to take the straight edge of this one and try to blend that out. And so looking straight on to both concealers, both have the same amount of coverage, so they both work the same way in that sense. So now we're going to go ahead and apply my foundation. Today I'm going to be using one of my holy grails. This is the Maybelline Dream Cushion Liquid Foundation on the Go. So basically it's a compact foundation that you dip your sponge or your brush in. And most of the time I use a sponge. And so on this side I'm going to go ahead and take the EcoTools bottom of the sponge where it has that round bottom. And I'm just going to dip it into the foundation and apply it that way. So I feel like that covered a lot of area very fast. It was just a very fast application, which I love. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side with the Morphe sponge. And with this one, I still don't use the straight edge. I actually like to use the pointy side for foundation as well, just because unlike the Beauty Blender, it's a little bit more spongier, so on the pointy side you don't have to specifically use it under your eyes. You could also use it for foundation as well. So I'll just go ahead and dip it into the product like I did the EcoTools sponge, but on the pointy side, and then I just go ahead and start blending it into my skin that way. So in this aspect, they basically both completely perform the same way. But now we're gonna get into the nitty gritty of both sponges with the concealer. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you in for this part. Okay, for concealer today, I'm gonna be using my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the color Light Sand. And I'm gonna go ahead and highlight center of my face and apply this under my eyes as well. I feel like I applied a little bit too much, but it's okay. So with this side, I like to use that straight edge, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that out. And then I'm gonna go ahead and blend that out with this sponge. Now for the center of my face, I'm actually just going to use my EcoTools sponge just because I like a more rounder side to blend out these parts. So I do like this one for the middle of my face, but the Morphe sponge actually performs just as good. I just like this one a little bit better, if you know what I'm saying. Okay guys, so I lied. This is not really the nitty gritty. They're both kind of the same when it comes to applying concealer. The baking, on the other hand, is where they become a little bit different, and it's up to you of which one you like better. So we're gonna get into that. I'm gonna go ahead and bake my face using my Coty Airspun loose setting powder. So before I bake, I like to make sure I blend out those creases just so I'm not setting them into my eye. And so I'll just go ahead and take my sponge and blend that out really quick. And then I'll go ahead and dip into my powder with the same edge side and just bake right under my eyes. And then I'll go ahead and take the bottom of the sponge right here on my lid and blend out those lines and dip back into the powder and go ahead and set my eyelid. Okay, now moving on to the Morphe side. I do this side a little bit different. So I still bake with the straight edge side, but what I really love about this sponge and what made me like fall in love with it was that you could bake and blend out the lines all at the same time, and I'll show you what I'm talking about right now. So what I'm going to do is actually dip this into the powder already. With the other sponge, I couldn't do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and dip into the powder with the straight part like this. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to blend out those lines, and right after I blend it, I literally could flip the sponge and set it right away. With the other sponge, I only have one part that blends out and sets the under eye, which is this part, because the round part is too big. And so I can't do it all at the same time, so I'll go ahead and have to look down, dip it into the powder, and sometimes my eye could just crease right up all over again. So that's what I really love about this one, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how I do that. So I'll just look into my mirror, and my camera's a little bit higher, so it's kind of hard to do on camera. But I'll just go ahead and blend out those creases with the bottom of the sponge. And then right after I'm done blending it out, I just go in with that powder just so it doesn't crease right away. And so that is something I just completely love about this sponge. And then I'll go in the same way as I did the other side, but with the pointier side, I'll just go ahead and blend out these lines and go back in with some powder and do my eyelid. Oh, that was a lot. And as for the middle of my face where I bake and my laugh lines, both sides are going to be completely the same just because I bake with both straight edges of the sponge, and they're completely dupes when it comes to that. So today I'm just going to be using the Morphe one just because I used the EcoTools to go ahead and blend out the concealer. So I'll use this one this time to go ahead and bake the center of my face. And the thing I like the most about these straight beauty blenders, the ones with the straight edge, is you could definitely go into those creases like I am right now and make sure you bake it, because that is where our foundation likes to crease and wear off. And then you could also clean up both sides like this with both edges, and I'm going to show you that later on. But I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup and then go ahead and get back on camera when I'm doing that part so I could show you guys how that works. But yeah, so I'll be right back. Okay, so on this side, I'm just going to take my EcoTools sponge and the straight edge and just bake right under here. And then I'll go ahead and just tap the rest under this part. And I just love these straight edges just to get a really clean, crisp line. And then I'll do the other side with the Morphe sponge. I do feel like this one's a little bit more stiff. I mean, it's still really spongy. I just feel like the EcoTools sponge is a little bit more softer, but it's not too stiff to the point to where it's like not blendable, if you know what I'm saying. Like it blends stuff perfectly. It's just a little bit more stiff. And so I'm gonna go ahead and let that set in and finish my makeup, and I'll be right back to tell you guys my final thoughts on both sponges. So I'll see you later. And so yeah, that's pretty much everything for this video. If you guys liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up so I can know to do more like battle videos for products. And yeah, if you've tried any of these sponges or both of them, let me know in the comments down below which one you guys liked better. And yeah, if you're not subscribed to my channel, BritanyRaquell, you already know what I'm about to say, but go ahead and subscribe. I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for you guys, so 3 times a week. Also, don't forget to follow me on my social media. It's all BritanyRaquell, just like my YouTube, so my Snapchat and also my Instagram. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys!